The educational module Friedrich Froebel's didactic system. The educational module Friedrich Froebel's didactic system forms the basis of STEM education. Theoretical positions and practical developments of the author are constant for modern pedagogical ideas. Froebel believed that the child has from the birth the instincts of activity, knowledge, artistic, and religious. The instinct of activity is the manifestation of a unique creative basis of a child. The instinct of knowledge is the desire to know the inner essence of all things. From the point of view of Friedrich Froebel, the goal of education is to enable every child to become a developed person. There is no need to prepare children for a predetermined place in society or to teach them any profession from the early age. Friedrich Froebel understood the importance of activities for the formation of a personality, which led him to the conclusion that the activities, play, study, and work, are of particular importance for education. Froebel showed many forms of interaction between activities. He drew attention to the need of interaction of activities in the pedagogical process. The Froebel system is perfectly combined with other educational modules of the program. It gets the child acquainted with mathematical ideas about the world through sensory perception. It develops spatial orientation with the help of 3D design, life forms, and with the help of a combination of volume and plane. For example, the second gift, where it is necessary to determine the leading age and lay out the picture according to the scheme and in a certain algorithm. The Friedrich Froebel system allows you to take the first steps towards reformation in programming by transforming the structure without destroying it, plot construction. Design, algorithmization, programming, and reformatting as one of its elements are components of robotics. Thus, the didactic system of Friedrich Froebel is the first step to robotic design. At the same time, this educational model acts as a means of realizing artistic ideas. This adds the letter A, art, to STEAM. Educational module Mathematical development. Cognitive development is the development of interest, curiosity, and cognitive motivation of children, the formation of their cognitive actions, the formation of primary ideas about the objects of the world, about the properties and relations of different objects, shape, color, size, material, quantity, number, about the part and the whole, about space and time, about movement and rest, about the causes and consequences, etc. The content of the educational area depends on the age and individual characteristics of children. It is determined by the goals and objectives of the program. It can be implemented in various activities: communication, play, cognitive research. Exemplary education programs of preschool education offer a clear, reasonable system of mathematical development which is implemented in the principal part of the basic educational program. Acquaintance with the main areas of mathematical reality, with size and shape, with spatial and temporal orientations, with quantity and count, occurs gradually in the program. Therefore, the tasks of mathematical development at different age stages are different. The content of each task has its own specifics. It requires a careful selection of the most appropriate methods and techniques for implementation. And also, it requires the creation of components of the development objective and spatial environment. The content of the module is complex. It combines games and manuals for arithmetic, geometry, logical, and symbolic propedetics. The educational module mathematical development is structurally linked to the age-related tasks of mathematical education. It consists of two blocks: the mathematical development of 3-5 years old children and the mathematical development of 6-7 years old children. Educational module experimentation with wildlife and inanimate nature for preschool children is presented by the methodical recommendations of Olga Golovina. The aim of the module is the formation of the scientific view of the world. Observations, tests, and experiments with animate and inanimate nature are the main means of this aim achievement. Some of them can be organized within the kindergarten walls, some at home, for example observations of pets, some while traveling with parents, for example observations of natural phenomena, etc. Research activities teach children to put forward a hypothesis, to find the means for its proof or refutation in the process of cognitive search. The ability to take into consideration the other point of view is created in the process of collective research work, as well as the ability to reason and prove. Also, the special role of experimentation in the environmental education of children should be noticed. One of the ecological culture formation tasks is to understand the relationships that exist in nature. Awareness of the unity of nature, the close connection of everything with everything, allow children to model their behavior towards nature properly in the present and in the future. Educational module robotics. The world of the future, as well as the world of the present, is the world of robots and automated systems. On classes of robotics, children assemble robots on the basis of programmable kits. The program is compliant for assembled mechanisms, thanks to which the robot comes to life. The classes of robotics help in solving many problems of personal development. This is the development of mental processes, attention, memory, thinking, logical, spatial, algorithmic, heuristic, imagination, speech, perception. Development of creative abilities, motor skills, communication skills. Educational module robotics is a set of designs to create robots for children of preschool and primary school age. It includes various ways to make the robot alive. The complication is the control system of designed robots is the movement from simple assembly of the model and its mechanical movement for 4-5 years old children to programmable control system for robots that are carried out by 6-10 years old children. Therefore, the kits presented in the module will allow children to master the robotic design, get acquainted with the basics of mechanics and basic electronic components in the organization of the movement of robots, experiment with motion, distance, temperature, etc. Find out what algorithm is. Get the first programming experience. Simulate their own robots. The educational module robotics, according to the idea of its authors Sergey Averin and Anna Teplova, develops not only children in the process of their activities with robotic sets, but also teachers. The teachers in this activity become partners with their little colleagues. Moreover, the entire educational environment, including children, teachers, and pedagogical technologies, is also developing. Since robotics is the fastest changing direction in both industry and education. Educational module Cartoon Studio I Create the World. In STEM education, the acquaintance with digital technology begins with the cartoons shooting, the activity which is accessible and beloved by preschool and primary school age children. This activity is an integration of art and technical creativity, introduction to information, communication, and digital technology, elementary programming. The content of the work with module Cartoon Studio I Create the World, authored by Natalia Muratkhadjayeva, includes creation and shooting by the children themselves their own cartoons. Also, it helps to integrate to increase the results of such educational modules as the Frobel's didactic system, Lego designing and robotics, as well as the maintains for children's research activity, fixing of long-term observations, step-by-step shooting of stages of the experiment, presentation of children's research results. Therefore, the educational module Cartoon Studio I Create the World is a part and parcel of the STEM education program for preschool and primary school age children, which accompanies the process of working with any educational module.